Kigezi sub-region. The convention, which unites people from the 7 districts of Greater Kigezi, as well as those from other districts and the diaspora, is held annually in one of the 7 districts to discuss social and economic development. The International Community of Banyakigezi is a non-profit organization founded in 2003 with a mission to unite and advance the socio-economic development of the Banyakigezi people both in Uganda and abroad.
Hati okuraga kwaza kubakuta kurura bakiga nabandi abantu bakabaye n'amataka mahanga konka nyine ka kwari kurugaho ebintu byona babitwanyagura. So each generation is has got less home resource base. Mbere kigambo ekyo mwanza kukigira muti ekigambo eki mbe nindwana nabali abanyabushozi nyine ka kwararijeho muri cyo kutwanyagura ibintu ngunu muraga nkana izire kabari nababuza bakiga ntimo bakigamo ntikanye n'ekizubu ngunenki bangaruka muri kiga ngunenki ntinyine enjoga emwe y'amaizi yokutayisa amaizi enjoga eri enyungu nimugishwe egyo ninga imwe aba.com tumukugimanya enjoga ntinyine enjoga emwe konka nyine amakatano.
Now, the National Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation and Senior Presidential Advisor General Caleb Akandwanaho, commonly known as Salim Saleh, has expressed dissatisfaction with the ongoing suppression of the investors by the local government officials. He highlighted that the demand for kickbacks from development partners has driven away many potential opportunities from the country.
For the past 2 decades, government of Uganda has opened up its doors to both local and foreign investors with the main aim of boosting development and creating employment. However, this initiative has faced setbacks as some leaders continue to set barriers for potential investors.
All the local governments are hostile to investors. I don't know why. They are hostile to the private sector.
While addressing a group of business community leaders in Gulu City this week, General Saleh also called on local commercial officers to account for key government programs in their regions.
Why is the local governments not responsive to investors?
We've been trying hard, and recently we launched a PPP project for the markets. And up to now we have.
He criticized them for their failure to effectively implement government projects.
All these commercial officers are the ones who are supervising machines which are not working. Like all the machines for SCDP, all the rice, there is no rice in Acholo. They have more than 80 rice hurdles in the whole region. 80. So, what is the problem?
General Saleh did not spare any technocrats present, holding them accountable for the underperformance in various sectors.
You have more than 100 rice mills in the work area. Why are they not working?
Thank you. The seasonality of the productions of the rice is an issue. Then number 2, our people who produce rice, immediately they produced, they are unable to keep because of the high needs for money.
Despite the considerable government programs and funds allocated to northern Uganda, particularly the Acholi sub-region, Saleh expressed disappointment with the low pace of development on the ground.
You have the land, you have the PDM money now for production, so why is processing not taking off? These are the people who came from Kabeka, they are looking for sunflower, rice, maize, soybean, sim, but we did a scan and you can't even get 2,000 tons.
To local leaders, he urged them to stop soliciting money from investors, emphasizing that such practices undermine development efforts.
Don't ask money from these guys when the business is still starting. You wait until the business matures and then they are confident and then they can.
General Saleh was officiating at the launch of the Made in Uganda Africa showroom in Gulu City, an initiative aimed at promoting local products and businesses.
When I see this today, it's overwhelming that it's possible for us to also have an industrial park here in Gulu.
Today at this grand event, please allow me to introduce Kabeka Industrial Park to everyone. Development of Liaoshen Industrial Park is in line with the Uganda government BOBO policy. Currently, there are 30 factories set in the park.
This is about business. We all study supply chains. This is actually about supply chain. What is a supply chain? To make products come closer to the people so that they are not inconvenienced. So, next time when we come here, this is going to be the biggest market of people who have been complaining about the cost of lorries, the cost of fuel. It is now going to come here. If you want fertilizer, you want machinery, you want whatever equipment you are interested in. So this is about logistics.
Now the Archbishop Emeritus of Kampala, Emmanuel Cardinal Wamala, has encouraged Christians to not only celebrate festive season but also to thank God for their lives and achievements. The Cardinal made these remarks while addressing his grandchildren led by State Minister for Higher Education Dr. J.C. Muyingo during the celebrations marking his 98th birthday at his home in Zambia.
The celebration to mark Emmanuel Cardinal Wamala's 98th birthday began with a mass led by the director of the Cardinal's home, Reverend Father Paul Mugerwa, assisted by Monsignor Charles Kasibante and a cross-section of priests. Cardinal Wamala encouraged Christians to use the festive season not just for celebration, but as an opportunity to thank God for their lives and achievements, giving true meaning to Christmas. He expressed gratitude to those who have supported him throughout his life, especially Dr. Muyingo, and appealed to Christians to always emphasize supporting those in need, forgiveness and unity. The State Minister for Higher Education and leader of Cardinal Wamala's grandchildren, Dr. J.C. Muyingo, congratulated the Cardinal on his 98th anniversary and praised his significant contributions during his service in various religious positions. Cardinal Wamala was ordained as a bishop in 1981, becoming the first bishop of Chinda Mityana. He was appointed Archbishop of Kampala in 1991 and later made a cardinal by the Pope in 1994. Mutonyi Hilda and Salon Kasibante Fred for UBC.
Happy birthday, man of God. Now as we move ahead, after more than 10 years of representing women of Amuria District in Parliament, Susan Amero is quitting elective politics. She cites what she describes as taking on another challenge other than politics, with the possibility of zeroing on commercial farming. Amero also hints on infights, intrigue and bickering that she says she can no longer be a part of.
And for people to claim that the ground is not good for me, well, that might be the assessment, because that's what they would wish always, and that's what they have been wishing. But I have defeated them always.
In the 2021 elections, Susan Amero's main political challenger for the Amuria District Women Parliamentary seat was Achen Roda. Achen was the flag bearer for the ruling National Resistance Movement Party, a primary election whose results Amero had disputed. Against all odds, Susan Amero contested as an independent candidate, defeated NRM's Achen Roda and 3 other candidates to return to Parliament for a 3rd term.
Some people are worried because they expect a woman MP with a wider area of coverage not to be able to reach some places, besides when she's not a minister. But I have managed Amuria. Since the time I got to Amuria, with the meager resources that I have managed to move everywhere. I have done things that have impacted the lives of people, and I have done things that people will continue to talk about. There is no leader in Amuria who has ever done it.
Nearly 4 years later, the soft-spoken legislator has confirmed intentions not to seek re-election, and these are some of her reasons.
On my own, I have decided, because I came on my own. So I don't need to consult anyone. So I am really so surprised. Why are people asking me why I'm leaving politics? Why didn't they ask me before I joined politics, when I'm joining politics, or how to move on in politics? So I'm just taking a rest, holiday. I've done my part, I've served my country, I can still serve in another level.
She says time has come for her to move on, a reality she urges her supporters to accept.
Many of them have even voted not to support any candidate. They are going to be there, wait and vote, but they will not go to support anyone, because they say, we don't see a suitable candidate that we are going to support. So, but I know they feel hard. I'm really very sorry for that decision, but sometimes it is inevitable.
She denies claims that she had lost ground to win elections again, blaming her political challenges on some individual area politicians.
Of course, in Teso, there are very many fights that are taking place in many constituencies, and this is all nothing but a fight for supremacy, which doesn't work because we're not representing the same constituencies. You know, I am a woman MP. My colleague is a constituency MP. So when he thought of fighting me, I have other constituencies that I deal with. Before I had Kapelebyong, before it became a district, I have Orungo. And then for me, I looked at that fight as a very stupid fight.
In the 2021 elections, Susan Amero garnered 20,284 votes against her main challenger, Achene Roda's 18,341. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, drama unfolded this morning at the Makindye KCCA Town Clerk's office when a delegation from Mienga Bukasa ward led by the area KCCA Lord Councillor Yasin Omar was left stranded with over 10 million shillings in cash. This cash represented user fees revenue collected from the Namuongo Market KCCA public toilets. Unfortunately, the secretary to the town clerk, Olivia Oshaba, instructed them to return with the funds. She stated that she was unaware of any such transactions involving revenue from public toilets and lacked the authority to handle public money on behalf of KCCA.
When I was chairperson of Ukasa, we saved money in the bank on behalf of KCCA with the ward administrator as the principal signatory. The amount is about 10,021,500, which we brought today to hand over to town clerk as the accounting officer of the division, according to the Auditor General's report on Ukasa management of funds, which I have here. But they are not around. We don't know the reason, but we informed them.
As a councillor of Bukasa, after handing over, we shall request the Council of Makindye to come up with a resolution to see how best we can use this money to benefit the people of Bukasa.
But also because that I did not even receive the PDM money. It is given to me today. I will be one of the happiest people this year, and even thank the president.
Just wanted to show accountability for the money which we collected within a short period of time. To receive this money, it is the town clerk and the ward administrator who are in possession, or who are the best people to have this money, because they know all the reports concerning the toilets.
Now, as we move into the story of wildlife, the Uganda Wildlife Authority is enhancing its efforts to address the escalating human-wildlife conflict in Kibale National Park by constructing elephant deterrent boardwalks and digging trenches in surrounding communities. This conflict has resulted in a significant crop destruction and tragically loss of human lives due to the wildlife raids. According to John Justice Tibesigwa, the chief warden of Kibale Conservation Area, there has been a noticeable reduction in human-wildlife conflict incidents, specifically crop raiding, since the innovative construction of a 150-meter elephant deterrent boardwalk at Isunga.
There are many programs which we implement in the park under the Community Conservation Department, and one of them is addressing human-wildlife conflict. And there are various interventions which we have against human-wildlife conflict. One of them is excavating what we call the elephant deterrent trench, which is 6 feet wide by 6 feet deep. This one is very effective against elephants. When the elephants reach the trench, they don't actually cross, and therefore the farmers outside are able to grow crops and then harvest. But there are areas where excavation of an elephant trench is not possible. So that is the reason why we came up with this innovation of constructing the elephant deterrent boardwalk, which we are standing on right now. Normally it's about between 1 meter and 1 meter high. It's made out of wood. So this one we are standing on spans about 150 meters. It is also very, very effective against the elephants, and since its construction together with the elephant deterrent trench, there has been a reduction in instances of crop riding. So the community on the other side are able to grow crops and also harvest them. So we are partnered with the World Bank, and we, as Uganda Wildlife Authority, we are happy that we have implemented these interventions. But there are also other interventions like beehives, where we have bees, and these bees are also effective against elephants which would want to cross from the national park to the community to ride crops. Generally, under the IFPA-CD project, which is in investing in forest and wildlife protected areas for smart, for climate smart development, there are also other interventions, other projects and activities which we have implemented.
Now, the Electoral Commission has adjusted the commencement of the exercise for the general update of the National Voters Register. The Electoral Commission had previously released a roadmap stating that the update of the National Voters Register was scheduled to commence on the 3rd of January 2025 and end on the 24th of February 2025. However, the exercise has now been rescheduled to begin on the 20th of January 2025 and end on the 10th of February 2025. According to Julius Muchunguzi, this adjustment is to allow voters who wish to transfer their voting locations to apply, as well as enable voters to check and confirm that their details are correct and appear on the voters register, among other purposes.
My name is Julius Muchunguzi. I'm the head of public relations and spokesperson for the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission wishes to inform the general public that the general update of the National Voters Register will commence on the 20th of January 2025 and conclude on the 10th of February 2025. The Commission is mandated under Article 61, Clause 1E of the 1995 Constitution of Uganda to compile, maintain, revise and update the National Voters Register. And this also is covered under Section 18 and 20 of the Electoral Commissions Act. As you may know, the Electoral Commission released a roadmap in the lead up to the 2025-2026 general election, and in that roadmap it outlined a number of activities that have to be undertaken, and one of those is the update of the National Voters Register. Initially, it had been indicated to commence on the 3rd of January and conclude on the 24th of January 2025. But the Commission found it appropriate to adjust the date to take into consideration the festive season, so that by extending it by another 2 weeks, people will have got out of the festive season and they'll be able to have enough time to show up and undertake this update of the voters register. The Commission wishes to inform the general public, therefore, that this exercise of the update of the National Voters Register is very significant. Number one, it enables, or it will enable eligible citizens, Ugandan citizens of 18 years and above, who are not yet registered as voters, to be able to do so. Number two, it will enable voters, registered voters, who wish to transfer their particulars from one area to another, to be able to apply for such transfers. Number three, it will enable registered voters to check and confirm their particulars on the National Voters Register to ensure that they are correct and that the details, the names, the photographs, and all particulars, the polling stations are right. And finally, it will enable students who were registered by NIRA, the National Registration and Education Authority, and have now attained the age of 18 to present their particulars, especially their NIN, the National Identification Number, and be updated and assigned polling stations within the parishes where they reside or where they originate.
Security officials in Kasese District have urged residents, particularly those residing near the border, to remain vigilant during Christmas celebrations. This caution follows concerns about the district's vulnerability to rebel activities due to its close proximities to the Uganda-DRC border.
This is the time when thieves, wrongdoers start targeting those who are enjoying, and so this security should be improved. Of course, the Wananchi will also try to do their part.
The deployments of the police and indeed of the EPDF are very firm along the border. You know that we have a long stretch of a porous border from a place called Kayanja on Lake Edward to the mountains, a stretch of around 50 kilometers porous border. But we are managing it very well. Deep inside the country, like in towns and some of these densely populated villages, we are working with the local population, especially the local castles, who have maintained vigilance, and we have made sure that there is effective communication between the local leaders and the security agencies, especially the police.
The State House Anti-Corruption Unit, SACU, in coordination with other security intelligence agencies, have conducted a raid at BIP Auto Garage in Entebbe, uncovering 40 metallic boxes containing suspected counterfeit US dollars valued at approximately $2 million.
Security operatives launched a coordinated operation at BIP Auto Garage, located near the post office in Entebbe, following a tip-off. The operation was prompted by intelligence indicating suspicious goods being held at Entebbe International Airport.
So during the month of May and October, State House Anti-Corruption Unit received information about a consignment which was closely being suspiciously being held at Entebbe International Airport. Together with other security agencies, we are closely been monitoring this consignment and using CCTV cameras at the Entebbe Airport and also police cameras. We managed to trace where the consignment was taken to.
During the search, approximately 40 metallic boxes were discovered, some of which contained counterfeit US dollars totaling to $2 million. Several of the boxes had been deliberately filled with soil to give them the appearance of being heavier, likely in an attempt to deceive the intended recipients. Some boxes were disguised as shipping containers for legitimate goods, but upon inspection, they were found to contain useless items, including empty crates of beer and soda. Kennedy Odonkara confirmed that one individual has been arrested and is currently assisting authorities in identifying the masterminds behind the counterfeit operation.
So today, together with invited representatives from Civil Aviation Security, Entebbe Police, the local leaders and a few neighbors, we managed to conduct a search at the said garage. And the search, and as we were conducting the search, we managed to we found 40 boxes containing suspected counterfeit US dollars amounting to about $2 million US.
Shaku had been monitoring the consignment since receiving tips in May and October regarding suspicious activity at Entebbe International Airport. Surveillance efforts intensified when the consignment was covertly moved from the airport to Bep Auto Garage in Entebbe. The investigation is ongoing, with authorities working to apprehend additional suspects connected to the counterfeit currency operation.
The Environmental Protection Police under NEMA has demolished an illegal structure that had been constructed in a gazetted wetland in Lubigi in Kitalanga, Kasanga, Makindye. The Senior Manager Environment, Enforcement and Field Operation Victor Nahabwe says the owner of the structure had been served several notices but did not abide.
That had been constructed on a gazetted wetland in Kitalanga, Kasanga near Kampala has been demolished during an operation by Environment Protection Police under NEMA. During the operation, other structures that had also been constructed illegally were also demolished. According to the manager, Environment Enforcement and Field Operation, Victor Nahawi, the illegal structures that had been constructed in the wetland were blocking water channels.
I know very well this is a big wetland that helps to collect all the water from all the surface runoff, water runoff from either sides. Bunga, Soya, Muyenga, Kansanga, it all collects from here and joins the main channel.
He says the illegal actions by the developers contravenes with Section 55 of the Environment Management Act.
Today we are here to restore the degraded areas where a certain degrader or developer was erecting an illegal structure in a wetland, which contravenes the laws of the Republic of Uganda.
Although the owners had earlier been served with several notices, they neither honored nor appealed to it, which compelled NEMA to take action.
Not just watch, sit and allow people to take the law in their hands. You know, so we've just restored this part. We are hunting for that same person who has been doing that. I'm told he's been constructing during the night. And once we get him, we shall have him arrested and prosecuted.
Some residents applauded NEMA for swinging into action, while others who are also affected during the exercise asked NEMA to always give them early warnings.
Sawa zino ng'abantu bamaze okuzimba ebizimbe byabwe babitadde mu ssente zaabwe eno investment y'abantu gavumenti etugamba tuve mu bwavu kati wano tuve mu bwavu oba tuzza mu bwavu omusajja atadde investment mu kifo ekibadde ekifu gozze ate oyonoona investment y'ekifo
ffe tusula wali olabawo wali eri wali wetupowa tuli baggeto tetulina nawe tubeere okitegeera muzeeyi yatutaasa n'atugamba tubeereko wali okategeera tugambye oli omukazi atugamba mu mugende gabe gaba tulinayo ettaka lye mwatugulirayo laba kati ag'amazzi ge mututeeredde gagenda yingira kali akayumba akola abakaabuki buveera kitegeera.
Nahawe says all the illegal occupants had been served early notices, and he further warned those who will ignore the restoration orders.
Definitely, we've opened up a case file to investigate and look for the exact person, because at the moment he's still at large. So we hope that once we identify the person, whoever has been doing this, we shall make sure that we have him arrested and prosecuted in the courts of law.
Nonetheless, on the adjacent side are also other illegal structures said to be demolished upon expiry of notices that were served to the owner.
On these other structures you see around, we are preparing to follow the due process and have them prosecuted. If not, as the President directed, let them live at their own time.
The restoration exercise across the country is set to continue, especially in areas where notices were issued earlier. Rebecca Nantongo, Mike Wakablindi, UBC News.
Stop breathing!
breathing. To be a winner, you must breathe only when necessary. Breathing is for losers. What is that? Did I give you permission to sweat? You can sweat in your free time. Push the arms straight.
Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
There is myths that so many of you live by. If your eye is twitching, it means you're going to see someone you like. If it shines and rains at the same time, it means a leopard is giving birth. If your hand is itching, it means you're going to get money. If you see an owl, it means somebody's gonna die. If you hear of a disease outbreak, just know it is in a village district at the border next to some suspicious country. You will want to scratch that last myth because Mpox is in 19 districts and Kampala is among with dozens of cases. Please stop going around checking anyone's hand. Mpox kills. Protect your loved ones.
Prestige Driving School, with over 20 years of driving training experiences and with more than 40 branches across Uganda. Licensed by the Ministry of Works and Transport and the only ISO certified driving school in the country. Offers fresh learner driving training, advanced driver training, defensive driving, and more. Enroll and become a professional driver. Prestige Driving School.
Affordable, professional, and safe.
In a year that defied expectations, 2024 wrote its own remarkable story.
From moments that took our breath away to achievements that broke the boundaries of what's possible.
We invite you on an unforgettable journey through time.
Every triumph, every challenge, every breakthrough that made headlines, we're bringing them all back to life.
Be there for this must-watch 2024 in review.
At 5 p.m. on 31st December, exclusively on UBC TV,
Inspiring Uganda.
And in the world of business, Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited Chief Executive Officer Joshua Karamaje recounts on the electricity transmission projects completed in the year 2024, and commits on other projects intending to facilitate regional power trade under the East Africa Power Pool arrangement. In the end of the year report, Karamagi restated on the feasibility study made ahead of the construction of cross-border power insertions. Let's hear more in this report.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited, Joshua Karamagi, identified some issues which warranted immediate attention, particularly settling land disputes at the beginning of his term of office in March of 2023.
On that land, we usually cut off titles from people's land where we buy, where the corridor is going to pass. But there has been a huge backlog of titles not returned to the owners of land. And when I came in, we had a backlog of close to 1,500 titles. And immediately I decided to have a project in that area of making sure we return people's titles which we had held for a period of more than 10, 15 years. So far, out of the 1,500 titles in this new project we have set up on the land issues, we have so far cleared 700 titles, and we are continuing to clear this backlog.
Completion of electricity substations to connect West Nile to the national electricity grid was top priority. All this was possible through solid support from the line ministry.
Over 100 billion for only this Kogna, Kole, Gulu, Nebi, Arua transmission line. We needed to pay people.
We have since completed the Gulu Nebi Arua transmission line that connects the West Nile to the national grid. This had not happened since independence.
However, the company faced internal challenges which reflected inefficiency in the public domain. A human resource gap was evident and needed urgent attention. The company also invested resources to own a master plan to guide its operation forward.
We started by crafting a new strategic plan for the organization. When I joined, the old strategic plan had 3 months to end. That was June 2023.
Other projects handled this year enhanced power reliability includes creation of special lines for industrial parks and supportive infrastructure for Kampala Metropolitan Improvement Project.
It will make sure that the ring around the Kampala metropolitan area is provided with reliable power, and that means for the significant investments of the country that are around Kampala, that they are in good state in terms of energy.
To facilitate cross-border trade under the East African Power Pool arrangement, UETCL intends to construct more 3 border interconnections to feed on the regional electricity grid.
The infrastructure that is available, we are able to participate in the East African Power Pool trading. However, to improve on this trading, we need to improve on the interconnectivity. So the lines I've told you, the interconnection between Uganda and Tanzania, Southern Sudan and Uganda and the DRC will only improve this trading. But come mid next year, we will participate in this trade based on the existing infrastructure.
Karamagi prides of curbing rampant vandalism of power infrastructure, which had crippled bulk electricity transmission.
To have this issue really resolved, we brought it to the attention of the government. The Prime Minister's office is involved. The security agencies are involved. We have involved the communities where these lines are. We have had to do sensitizations on radios.
This attributes to strategic collaboration with security agencies. Abdul Nasir Lubama for UBC.
Now, a report by civil society highlights some gaps in financing for public education. In 2024, a report analyzed education budget allocations from 2021-2022 financial year to 2023-2024 financial year.
Jocelyn Somisha Uchanda.
Exactly 2 months and 1 day since assumption of office, Netball Uganda's executive committee has been sworn in at Nob View Hotel in Ntinda.
This I swear to the...
The Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, in partnership with Oxfam, assessed the government's financing for primary education over the 3 financial years from 2021-22 to 2023-24.
Now, when you look at Uganda's budget, over the last 4 years, it has been increasing from 48 trillion, 52, and now we're at 72 trillion. That would give you a trajectory where you think that maybe because the budget is increasing, we're also having increments in the education sector financing. But when you look at the actual education sector budget as a share of the national budget, the trends have been declining. We have moved from 12% to 13%, but currently we're at 8%. So
the report focused on a selection of remote government-aided primary schools in Abim and Nabila Tuk, Karamoja sub-region, as well as Madiokolo in Yumbe, West Nile sub-region.
It is the government which is paying us. Although the little we receive, it's not satisfactory. We are not. It is not supporting us in all the necessities. We earn less.
How much do you earn?
We earn only 250,000 per month, and that money cannot help sustain and even make the planning for other requirements. Yeah, like even purchasing a bicycle to help me move.
Despite an upward trajectory in the education budget, government funding remains inadequate to meet the demands of producing a high-quality and productive workforce.
The education system, as I said, took us from the villages, from the land, and brought us to the classroom and to the offices. And we said, oh, now the land is for the villagers, for those who are not educated. Without the land, what will you produce? You can't produce a service, you can't produce a product.
Uganda's current capitation grant for the Universal Primary Education Program is 20,000 per pupil per year, far below the National Planning Authority's recommended budget of 63,546 shillings for urban schools and 59,503 shillings for rural schools.
The education service delivery happens at local governments because local governments are the ones, especially for primary, they are the ones that have the primary schools. They are the ones where we have secondary schools. So, but when you look at the local government budget, vis-a-vis the budget we have, it is less than 10%.
Opportunities exist if resource allocation is strategically directed towards interventions that will foster a well-educated and productive citizenry. Wadulo Arnold Mark, UBC News.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Welcome back from that short break. It's time for us to look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. And as we start off with netball, Uganda's recently voted executive committee has been sworn in. Our reporter was at Nobview Hotel in Tinder and now reports.
Jocelyn Somisha Uchanda.
Exactly 2 months and 1 day since assumption of office, Netball Uganda's executive committee has been sworn in at Nobview Hotel in Tinder.
This I swear to the best of my ability and the success of Netball Uganda. So help me God.
The Netball Uganda Executive Committee is led by President Jocelyn Uchanda, who has highlighted key areas to tackle to ensure the sport maintains its historic position as one of Uganda's most prominent.
And we are going to address governance issues, which include structures. We are going to set up a secretariat. We are going to form committees. We are coming up with a calendar that is going to highlight the activities of Netball Uganda. And also we are going to come up with a strategic plan, of which we have launched today, for Netball Uganda.
Netball Uganda comes into office after full certification by World Netball and a global rank of 6, while in Africa the She Cranes is second. William Bwambale is the first Vice President for Administration Matters, while Richard Muhumuza is second Vice President in charge of Technical Affairs. Amina Mande is Honorary Secretary, while the Treasurer is Yusuf Kamulegea. The new Executive Committee officially takes charge of the sport that has over the past been under the Normalization Committee that was set up by World Netball to address pertinent issues to ensure sanity.
The conversation we had during the day, earlier in the day, we touched on a number of things that have to be undertaken. So for us as the Normalization Committee, our work is coming to an end, and we would like to pass on the baton.
We have done our part to ensure that the mandate that we are given, we have pushed it to this level. We pray that whatever we have done, no matter what, does not get washed away. So we challenge you to hold on to the mantle with a lot of hope and enthusiasm, with all stakeholders, including the media, is on your side. So do not disappoint Ugandans and do not disappoint netball lovers.
The Netball Uganda Executive Committee that officially starts work on 1st January 2025 and will sign out in 2028 also has 8 regional representatives and 16 members of the Athletes Commission.
We are going to build institutions. You have heard we formed the Athletes Committee. The Athletes Committee will have a representation of the executive so that the interests of the athletes are also taken care of. We are also going to work with partners to raise funds to be able to support the activities of Netball Uganda. We are not only going to depend on governments, we thank government who has been our major supports and pledge that they support us immediately so that we are able to take the She Cranes to participate in the Quad Series in the UK.
And lastly, Uganda's sports has thrived this year almost at all disciplines, having great milestones. In this special report, we look at a sport of cricket as it thrived this year, notably the men's team making it to the T20 World Cup for the first time.
From the women's national team taking part in the T20 World Cup qualifiers for the second time in February, to the men's team making their first T20 World Cup appearance in June and crowning the year with a great performance in the Challenge League B and Continental Cup, plus both teams taking part in the African Games for the first time. The sport of cricket in Uganda had a great year.
2024 has been a very good year for Uganda Cricket. I think we've done well in terms of achievements. We had so many first times. I don't want to call them first times, but we had so many. I think the standout for us has been the appearance of the Cricket Cranes at the 2024 T20 World Cup that was in the West Indies. first time appearance for the team after having qualified in 2023 in Namibia, and it was a very good experience for the boys. In that World Cup, we were able to play against 3 test playing teams and 1 associate team, and of course we also picked up our first win at the World Cup, defeating PNG by 3 wickets in a very, very good game. So it was a very good experience for the boys, and hopefully that is something that can inspire them to continue going back to the T20 World Tour to continue qualifying for the World Cup. T20 World Cup comes around every after 2 years, so hopefully that in 2025 we can be able to qualify for the 2026 World Cup that will be in India and Sri Lanka. And one of the games from that World Cup was the exposure the team was able to get, first of all, playing against Afghanistan, New Zealand and the West Indies. Hopefully that doesn't come around very often for us, considering that those are test playing teams and we are an associate nation. But as well, the amount of money we were able to get from qualifying for the World Cup experience. But the girls also got an opportunity of playing at the global qualifiers in Abu Dhabi. Since 2018 we hadn't been there, and we hope that they can continue to do the same as well.
Domestically, the sport also continued to shine, with the league reaching milestones.
In terms of our local cricket, we were finally able to get new champions. This Damani had been dominant for the last 5 years, but in the 50 over league, Kachi Tigers were the winners, and in the T20 league, Wanderers Cricket Club winning that tournament. For the girls, Oroti City continuing their dominance as well, winning back-to-back T20 titles. But I think in the big shift was in the men's categories, whereas this Damani had been dominant for the last 5 years. The schools competition is very, very good. Light SS winning the schools competition for the first time, the girls tournament, defeated Olida High School in Soroti, while JGSS defended their boys title, which was also a very good feat for them. The boys competition going to 18 schools and the girls competition going to 16 schools from 14.
Uganda Cricket received around $1.5 million from a sponsor to support the game.
That's a lot of money for us to gain in terms of developing the game in Uganda, and hopefully that money can trickle down, especially to the grassroots, and help us find the next superstars for the national teams.
In this same year, after the T20 World Cup, Brian Masaba resigned from his role as the Cricket Cranes captain and from T20 cricket.
You know, I've always put this team first and its best interest. And we've come to the end of a cricket cycle. We're starting a new cycle that continues for the next 3 or 4 years. And I felt it was the best time to hand over the reins to the next guy that will lead Uganda into that next cricket cycle.
Riazat Alisha was chosen to replace Brian Masaba, and he captained Uganda during the Challenge League B and Continental Cup.
Brian is an amazing mentor for us from long time. He was a great leader. We have learned a lot of things personally from him, and personally for me, I have learned a lot of things from him about discipline, our leadership in the ground and outside the ground, the way he treats the players, the way he gels with the players. It's amazing.
Brian Masaba was with the team during the Challenge League B and says he will still be committed to supporting the team to accomplish greater things.
Still being a part of the team in the 50 over format, and just trying to play my part in trying to get us to ODI cricket. So it's a team in transition, and for me, I've always been about the team. It's never been about me, whether I play or not, but what contribution I can make when I do come. And they were trying out different combinations, and I was just happy to get my shot and try and put my hand up for the team. Try and execute a role. And because I was tried in a couple of positions, I opened in one of the games and then moved down into the middle in the next one. So, I have no problem with that. Again, it's about what I can do for the team, and just play where the team needs you. The most important thing is the success of the team at the end of the tournament. So I look forward to helping the team again when I can.
Overall, you can see that Uganda Cricket has thrived this year, but yet again, what is next for this sport?
I wish the new crop of players get the opportunity to feel what that was like, to get your team to a World Cup and play at a World Cup, which is the pinnacle of cricket. So, fingers crossed the team can go there and repeat what we did, and hopefully we can see them at another World Cup. I think
2025 big things, a lot of qualification rounds for the teams. The men will be playing the Africa T20 finals in Zimbabwe in September. The under-19 boys will be trying to qualify for the under-19 boys World Cup. They will be playing those qualifiers in Nigeria sometime in April. The girls will also be trying to qualify for another global tournament in October later in the year. So 3 major qualification rounds for the teams. But as well, the Cricket Cranes will be keeping an eye on the Challenge League. The second round will be happening in February the 4th to the 17th in Hong Kong. So they will be trying to consolidate their position. But even locally, there should be a lot of changes. There will be changes in our local league to try and make sure it gets more competitive, it has more value. So a lot of things should be coming up in 2025. And we are very, very excited at Uganda Cricket.
Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
And that brings us to the end of our bulletin. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Mugalu Mohammed has been with us on sign language. Let's meet again at 10 o'clock.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
To be a winner, it requires that you exceed all the limits of mankind and womankind. But when you play with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN and pay. Congratulations!